I let myself get a little giddy a few days ago when a package arrived from FC-Moto. And for those of my fellow Americans that don't know what FC-Moto is, you can think of them like the German Revzilla, but better. And also worse. I don't know, maybe I'll make a video about that one day because I do have a serious bone to pick with the limited scope of gear we have access to through US distributors. But before I get too far afield, let's get back to the matter at hand, my aforementioned giddy state. In this box was my holy grail of motorcycle footwear, the CE protected unicorn, if you will, a pair of Falco Kaspar boots. Today, I'm going to give you a rundown on what I love and what's not so great. Also, stick around until the end because I'm going to touch on Fitment, which can be, I'm imagining, a bit problematic for some. This is a pretty simple captoe zipper closure boot. Shaft height is just about dead on 6 inches, so for my boot nerds, again, think Red Wing Iron Ranger or Thursday Captain dimensions. We're looking at a full grain cowhide leather, a lugged sole, and a zipper closure to back up the laces on the inside of the ankle. The liner is some sort of mesh material that's supposed to help with airflow and moisture removal. Having ridden with these in the summer, I can say that they do a better than average but not fantastic job of cooling, but they are also a leather boot. No waterproofing, which I guess sucks if you want that, but also aids in helping keep the boot from steaming your feet in hot weather. I know some people don't care for zip boots, especially in this style. I actually think I remember Sturgeon over at Revzilla commenting on some footwear review that he prefers to lace his boots up, just like his father did. Personally, that seems to me to be about as logical as claiming that rolling your windows up on your own instead of power electric windows somehow serves as a testament to your grit. But I can understand those that make the case for safety and durability. Like I mentioned though, the accident I was in over the summer broke my wrist and shattered my femur, and I'm thinking about making a video of that, so if I do, you can see me tell the tale in the link in the video description. These boots held up just fine. The paramedics had to cut off the right boot because they didn't want to pry it off and risk aggravating my broken leg, so the zippers did their job. Personally, I'm partial to side zips because, as a real estate broker, I'm constantly in and out of people's homes and having to pop my shoes off. On a 10 listing tour, it's a game changer to have a boot you can just slip on and off. I'd love to know what you all think though. Are zip assists just for the slovenly? Should more manufacturers be making CE rated classic looking boots, or are captoes your boring granddad's boots? Let me know in the comments and swipe a like and sub on the way down. That would be great. On the protection front, the boot is CE rated level 1 across the board. Now, while that's not the beefiest armoring money can buy, for a casual riding boot, I'll take it. The toe and the heel cup are armored. You do also get ankle protection on both lateral and medial sides, but the medial side doesn't offer much as it sits kind of behind the zipper and probably won't protect the point of your ankle bone in an impact. Obviously, the zipper makes replicating the lateral side impossible, but I've seen other manufacturers get around this problem by simply splitting the armor and putting half in front of the zipper and half behind. It would have been nice if Falco had seen fit to follow that trend here. As long as we're in the complaint department, the little zipper pull can be a bit finicky from time to time and kind of gets stuck in this really awkward angle that makes it hard to pull up. It takes a little wiggling to break it loose, and from there the zipper works just fine. So I realize that's a small complaint, but it can be annoying when it happens. Also, for my taste, there's a bit more red, I guess, in the leather than I would have liked. I like a tan with, well, I guess a bit more tan and brown and a little less red. That said, I do think the color is great. I love them, otherwise I wouldn't have bought them, and I think they show well, and I actually think the kind of leather here is going to patina and break in really well. So it's, again, a pretty minor complaint. I also wish the lugs on the heel were slightly less pronounced. One of the things I love about a properly executed captoe boot is that it fits into almost any occasion. Having visible lugs on the heels make it just a little bit less office oriented. My last gripe isn't really a fair one, but it's that the profile of the boot is a bit chunkier than I would prefer. Kind of here at the toe, where the toe height is actually pretty thick, because slimmer lines again would make the boot blend in better in professional situations. But I get that. Unlike your standard boot, motorcycle boots have to make room for crash protection, so I'm not going to really put this down as a mark against the Kaspar. Now, here is what I love about the Falco Kaspar. The list is short, but obviously still important points. It's price, look, and fit. Now, I paid $165 for these, including international shipping, and by motorcycle boot standards, that's darn cheap. I can't really testify yet to the long-term durability, so I'll have to keep you updated. What is a little less than encouraging, though, is that in the paperwork that came with the boot, Falco states that the standard life cycle, given normal wear and tear, is 2 years. That is worrisome. A proper boot should last way longer than that. The boots do look and feel sturdy, though. There's no stitching apparent on the bottom of the outsole, so my guess is they're cemented. They're stitching across the top, so it's possible that they just didn't go through all the way through the outsole, so that could make resoling a bit more difficult. Hopefully they can be easily replaced by a cobbler when they wear out. I don't know. I haven't gotten there. I'll let you guys know when the time comes. My biggest concern with longevity, though, is the toe cap seam here. On my size foot, the stitching across the toe cap falls just about where I strike the shifter on upshifts with my left foot. Now, the boots that these replaced didn't show any signs of significant wear to the seam, but I'd only had them for a couple of months at the time of the accident, so I can't really necessarily stake a claim on the fact that they won't eventually wear through there. In terms of fit, these are literally the most comfortable leather boots I have ever owned. They fit like they were custom made. They're the perfect length, a snug but not at all uncomfortable width, and a toe box that leaves just enough room for me to wiggle my piggies around, and my heel is held in place without feeling squeezed. It doesn't feel loose, but it also is not wearing a hole in the back of my heel or causing blisters. These are boots, and riding boots at that, so they're a bit on the stiff side compared to your favorite sneakers, but they're for sure all day comfortable. The wonderful fit I'm experiencing with the Kaspars is partially due to a bit of a happy accident, so pay close attention here if you are at all interested in these boots. I normally wear a US 10.5 to 11. The older I get, the more clownish these flippers become, and the more often I find myself in that 11. Now, these are European boots that I ordered from a European website, and I totally screwed up the US size conversion when I placed the order. Now, I should have ordered a 44, maybe even a 45, but I transposed some numbers in the conversion and accidentally ordered a 43, which corresponds more closely with a US 9.5 or a 10. When the boots first arrived, I tried to jam my feet into them and realized that I'd made a bit of a mistake. It felt like the Kaspars were trying to asphyxiate my feet. The length was perfect though, and I'm cheap, so I didn't want to pay for the international return, which is the one downside of ordering things from FC-Moto. So I figured I'd see if I could break these bad boys into at least a passable fit. First go around, after some quick web investigating, I settled on a hairdryer and a heavy pair of wool socks as my primary tools. After a few days of heating up the squeeze points and then jamming my wool sock encased feet into the boots and wearing them around for as long as I could tolerate, the boots fit absolutely perfectly. So when it comes to fitment, I would say the Kaspars run about a size long. If you have a narrow to standard width foot, which is about where I fall, you should be fine just sizing down 1 on the conversion chart. If you have a wider foot, you may need to look elsewhere, because I don't know how much more stretch I could have gotten out of the leather, and it doesn't appear, at least, that they carry wide sizes. And that's pretty much a wrap on the Kaspar rundown. These boots are comfortable enough that they're likely to become my boot mainstay on or off the bike. At least when winter breaks, there's, 7 inches of snow on the ground right now, and these are definitely not snow boots. But I highly recommend to anyone that has been desperately searching for an unassuming, blends into everywhere with just a little pinch of hipster boot, give these a serious look. As always, thanks for tuning in, and I will see you all in the next one.